What up guys, Nick from WhatUpMC here, and today we are back with another Pokemon Go video. I know I just posted a Pokemon Go speculation video yesterday about why I don't think Gen 2 is coming anytime soon, but literally as I was editing it and uploading it last night, Pokemon Go posted a tweet talking about a new update coming to the game that's going to be update 0.49.1 for Android and 1.19.1 for iOS. And so there's a lot of new information with this update that I wanted to elaborate on after yesterday's video, both stuff that was revealed officially by Niantic and stuff that was found in the code of the game after it was updated. So we're going to go through the official stuff first, then we'll get to the data mine stuff. So I think the biggest change in this update is that Pokemon types are now going to be shown when you're picking the Pokemon for a battle and when you're in battle in a gym. This isn't showing the types of the moves, it's showing the type of your Pokemon. And while it's not perfect yet, it is sort of a step in the right direction that hopefully they will show the move types in an update in the future maybe, because I think showing the move types is way more important than showing the Pokemon types, because most people are familiar with the game, have pretty much got all the Pokemon types memorized, but you may not remember which Pokemon specifically has, like, I don't know, maybe you want to distinguish between your Victory Bell that has an all grass moveset and an all poison type moveset. I know a lot of people have developed a system of using the nickname with like symbols in it to tell what kind of moves your Pokemon has, but I find that kind of like cuts in on how many different kinds of nicknames you could use for Pokemon, and I'd rather have just the official in-game symbols rather than having to type it out in the nickname. So that's one big thing, and now the other big thing is something that I didn't think was going to come to the game anytime soon, which is mass transfers. So a lot of you know that if you catch a lot of Pokemon, if you don't have that much space, it's tedious to go through each Pokemon and click transfer, go through all of them one by one. But now you can actually transfer as many Pokemon as you want all at once. All you have to do is, when you're scrolling through your Pokemon, just hold it down, and then you will see kind of like the Pokemon highlight, and then you can just tap, 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 tap to select as many Pokemon as you want. Now the update hasn't hit my device yet, so I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I'm assuming that you won't be able to actually click a Pokemon that you have favorited for transfer, since currently you cannot transfer a favorited Pokemon. Obviously you wouldn't want to do that, so I'm assuming it will work the same way for mass transfer. I can see a downside to this being people maybe not realizing that they may have accidentally touched a Pokemon they didn't mean to select, with their, like the side of their hand, or maybe with part of their thumb they didn't mean, and accidentally transferring a Pokemon. But if you want to prevent that from happening, just make sure any Pokemon that you don't want to be transferred, just favorite it. And then the last part is a little bit of a minor change. It now shows how much candy you have earned with a certain buddy Pokemon. If you go and look at that buddy Pokemon, it'll tell you how much candy you have earned over the course of however kilometers you walked with that Pokemon. This is something that I had wanted them to add when the Buddy Pokemon update originally came out, so it's cool that it's finally in the game. And also, when you're on the Pokemon summary screen, not on the Buddy page, but on the regular summary screen at the bottom, you'll now be able to see how many kilometers you have walked with that Pokemon. So now let's get onto the stuff that was data mined. So this is the stuff that is hinting at the possible release of Gen 2 coming soon. So all this information is coming from the Silph Road. They have reported on a data mine of the latest Pokemon GO APK with the latest update, and here are some of the things that they found that I think are pretty important. So a new position for Buddy Pokemon has been found in the code, and that is the baby position. If you guys don't know, Buddy Pokemon have 4 possible positions. They can either be on your shoulder, next to you on the side, or kind of behind you if they're really big, or flying in the air behind you. So the 5th one, we don't actually know what it's going to look like, but it is called baby, and I'm assuming it's going to be like you're carrying the Pokemon, like you have them, I don't know, you have the Pokemon swaddled like this. Okay, obviously not for Charizard, but you get what I mean. In the main series games, Gen 2 was the introduction of baby Pokemon and the breeding system, and the fact that the new baby position has been found in the code could mean that baby Pokemon are coming soon, and these may be the new Pokemon that Niantic and other sources have been talking about. In my opinion, I think it's way more likely that these new Pokemon are actually the baby Pokemon from Gen 2 and not the entirety of Gen 2. I still stand by the points I made in the video yesterday, but I think it would be maybe not such a bad idea if they released baby Pokemon before the entirety of Gen 2, just because it kind of smooths the transition, and baby Pokemon are kind of complicating one sort of system in the game, the candy system, where you have Pokemon like Pikachu, Clefairy, Jigglypuff, the Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Electabuzz, Magmar, Jinx. They all have baby Pokemon that are their pre-evolved forms, so their candies are probably going to have to change names. I can see all the candies, like Pikachu candies, changing into Pichu candies. If you guys saw the video I posted yesterday, I did mention how maybe the new Pokemon coming to the game is actually Togepi, and that sponsored Starbucks Pokestop you could spin, maybe it drops a special egg and it's like the Togepi pattern. I think that would make sense for Togepi to be one of the first Pokemon revealed before Gen 2, considering how Togepi was actually revealed in the anime over a year and a half before the Gen 2 games actually came out. Plus, Togepi is pretty much the perfect example of having a baby position Pokemon as your buddy Pokemon, since we all know Misty in the anime was carrying around like the Togepi like this for pretty much the entire show after it hatched. The next thing I wanted to mention is that the sound files for the Cries of the next 100 Pokemon have been found in the APK with the latest data mine. Now, here's the thing. I have seen a lot of people online saying this now confirms for sure Gen 2 is coming out. They put the sound files for the Pokemon in the game. This means it has to be coming soon, but I don't think that actually proves anything. Alright, so try and hear me out here. So Niantic is very aware that people are data mining the game. They're, reporting about it on websites like Reddit, where a lot of people read those articles. So there's a lot of people seeing things in the game before they intend for it to be revealed in the game. I think it's very likely that what I mentioned before is actually true, that only the buddy Pokemon are coming out in the next couple weeks rather than the entirety of Gen 2, and the fact that they added all 100 sound files for all the new Pokemon in Gen 2 is kind of just to throw us off, to make us think that all the Pokemon in Gen 2 are coming out, when really they only want to release the baby Pokemon, which is like less than 10 Pokemon. I think it would make a lot of sense for them to do this as a way of trying to preserve the surprise, so that rather than, just putting in only the sound files for the baby Pokemon, and then, we do the data mine and we're like, oh, well, look, the baby Pokemon are coming, it's only those Cries. They just put every single Cry and then we can't tell which Pokemon are coming. I don't think it's that big of a stretch to think that that might be something that they're doing, and it definitely would not be the first time that a video game developer has tried to do that. Another indication that not all of the Gen 2 Pokemon are coming out in the next couple of weeks is that no new moves have been found in the code of the game. Now, while some people may think it would be possible for them, they could just release Gen 2 and just have the Gen 2 Pokemon have all the same moves as Gen 1 Pokemon, but there are a couple of Pokemon in Gen 2 that have kind of unique moves of their own that no Pokemon have yet in Pokemon Go. Just off the top of my head, I can remember Wobbuffet has Counter and Mirror Coat. Those are kind of its two signature moves. Unknown only learns Hidden Power, and Smeargle only learns Sketch. Now, I think Unknown and Smeargle are kind of going to be a special case, kind of like Ditto, where it wasn't originally released with the entirety of Gen 1, just because it has, the special move Transform, and they kind of had to figure out how they were going to make Transform work in the game. I think for Unknown and for Smeargle, they kind of have to figure that out the same way, how Hidden Power is going to work and how Sketch is going to work in the game before those Pokemon actually show up. Yeah, no new sprites or models were found in the game for the Gen 2 Pokemon. However, there has been code that is related to the gender of Pokemon and shiny variants of Pokemon found in the data mine. For those of you who don't know, gender differences was something that was introduced in Gen 2 because they introduced the breeding system. Obviously, they had to have male and female Pokemon, and it's basically just like a few tiny aspects that change a Pokemon's appearance depending on whether it's a male or female. Currently, all Pokemon in the game right now all have their male forms. Not every Pokemon has gender variants. Probably one of the most notable ones that people will be able to easily recognize is Pikachu. A male Pikachu has like the regular tail that you're all used to seeing, but a female Pikachu kind of has two curves at the end, which kind of look like a heart. Now, for shinies, this is something that I am really excited about. If you guys have seen any of my other videos, I am a big fan of shiny Pokemon. I really like hunting for shinies. I like searching for them in the wild. I like breeding for shinies. Shiny Pokemon are also something that was introduced in Gen 2 of the main series games. And like I mentioned in one of my Ditto videos, I think it's very, very likely that shiny Pokemon will just end up being turned on at some point. Niantic's just gonna flip a switch where all of a sudden shiny Pokemon will be able to be found in game. They won't make any announcement about it. They're just gonna silently flip that switch, and all over the world, people are just going to start encountering shiny Pokemon, going crazy online, sharing the pictures and videos on Twitter. And like I mentioned before, the new Pokemon that we may be seeing in the next couple of weeks coming to Pokemon Go may actually be shiny Pokemon rather than Gen 2 Pokemon. I just wanted to clarify from my previous video, in case it didn't really come across in that video. I am not against the release of Gen 2. Trust me, I really want more Pokemon to come to the game. I just meant I didn't think it was coming soon, or I think it would be a bad time for them to release it soon, seeing as though it's getting really cold. It's very, difficult for a lot of people in the northern areas in the world to go outside and play Pokemon when it's freezing cold and there's a bunch of snow outside. It's not so easy to play an AR game where you have to walk around in that sort of weather, and I don't think the kind of resurgence in the game is going to be as big as it would be if they released it in a time when it was warmer, like during spring. But yeah, there were just a couple other things noticed in the data mine, and that is avatar customization and Pokemon costumes. So these don't really affect like the gameplay or battle. It's just sort of cosmetic changes. It makes sense for them to add avatar customization because it just returned to Pokemon Sun and Moon. People were really upset that they didn't have it in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire after it was really popular in Pokemon X and Y. So I can see why they wanted to add it to Pokemon Go. This could be a possible other form of in-game purchases as well as Pokecoins. But yeah, I just want male characters to be able to have cool hats too, because let's be honest, the male character hats suck. The female characters have all the cool hats. The male hats suck. And also Pokemon costumes, we don't really know for sure what that is yet, but it probably will be something like if you think of Pikachu in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire with the costumes, you have the luchador Pikachu, the biker Pikachu, I forget what the other ones were. But yeah, so those are just some of my thoughts on the possible release of Gen 2 and what has been found so far in the game files. If you guys kind of agree with some of the stuff that I was saying, then feel free to leave a like down below. If you disagree, then let me know why in the comments down below. And if you want to see more Pokemon Go videos, then be sure to hit the subscribe button down below to be notified whenever I post a video. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.